Hey everybody, so Jon David had an 8 out of 10 day, and the word of the day is tachycardia. And tachypnic means breathing too fast. Tachycardia is where your heartbeat is beating too fast. Specifically something called rebound tachycardia, which is what happens a lot of times when you come off of like drugs and you're in withdrawal. Specifically the drug that he is having rebound tachycardia with is Precedex. It's the Dex, which is his favorite drug. And so we think the Dex weans have just kind of caught up with him. And so that is why he didn't have a perfect day. It's also why the last 2 days we haven't made a Dex wean, but it seems like it's kind of caught up to him. And so he had a decent night last night. I stayed up pretty late with him. He did have some withdrawals, so I stayed up with him, held him, kind of got him settled back down, went to sleep at like 5:30, and then got back up at like 8:30. He was having bad withdrawals. They gave him some morphine, didn't really help. Ended up giving him some Dex, and it helped a little bit. But the thing that really worked throughout the day was just holding him. And it worked last night too. So like he really just enjoys being held, which, I'll sacrifice for the greater good and volunteers tribute for that. But he pretty much just needs to kind of get through these withdrawals, which again is a good problem to have. We knew these were coming. We know they're going to happen. And in the grand scheme of things, these are good problems because it means that we're coming off the drugs and getting him over towards step down. The good news is that he started feed today again. So he started back at 10 milliliters. He's at 15 now, and he's going to work his way back up to that 33 milliliters an hour. So he'll get there sometime in the next day or two. I think they're going to do 5 milliliters every 6 hours is what he's going to go up. And so, let's see, around Thursday, he should be back to his full feeds. We also got to say bye-bye to his ventilator and BiPAP. They got rolled out today, so we got to say bye-bye to those machines, which was a really fun thing. And then also, this is not like great from the standpoint of like, we don't want our kid to be uncomfortable and cry, but we got to hear him cry today, which is, after not being able to hear him cry for weeks, that is something that is a praise and a blessing. And I know a lot of parents probably would be like, it's, their kid's crying is annoying, like you don't want it. I've been there with Hunter, like when he was a baby, I get it. But when you go through the perspective of not being able to hear your kid cry for such an extended period of time, you are thankful for being able to hear them cry. And I told Jon David that day, I was like, buddy, I'm sorry, but Daddy's enjoying hearing you cry. Mallory, actually, I recorded the video and sent it to her, and she enjoyed it as well. Again, not that we want our kid to cry, not that we want him to be uncomfortable, but just the fact of being able to hear him cry was a blessing. And then we also had Mama Kay come by and do some snuggles with Jon David so I could get out of the hospital for a little bit and go get a run in. And then Hunter had a fun day with his friends. He got more worms, and then he went fishing with Mimi. And then when he got his fish, he just had to show Mr. Daniel, Miss Danielle, and Gatlin. And so he FaceTimed them and showed off his fish, and he was telling them that it was a 10-pounder. So we have already made him a true fisherman because he is sitting here saying it's this big, saying the fish is this big. It really was this big, but it's this big. So he's learning how to be a fisherman because, as we all know, the old adage, a good fisherman is a good liar. So he caught himself a 10-pounder. But if y'all would pray for these 3 things: one, that Jon David will continue to tolerate his weans and his feed increases, so that way we can move him out of the ICU part of the ICU and over to step down. And then pray for all those who've lost loved ones, but especially those who've lost children. And then please pray for all the kids and families battling congenital heart defects, because again, this is not an easy road for anybody. And honestly, I think as long as we've been here, we've seen more people have complications than people have textbook, come in, get things done, and leave in the amount of time they're telling you you're going to leave. And so again, it's a constant lesson in humility and patience and perseverance and strength, and just pray for all of those kids and families, because again, so many of them have to deal with things not going quite the way that we would like them to go all the time, and having to take detours. But that's all I got for y'all. Hope y'all continue to choose Hope Daily. Y'all have a good night and God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow.
伤哦。
Jon David, celebrate Papa.